יעלו סדאי, וכל אשר בו יעלו סדאי, איי 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 איי, יעלו סדאי.
Welcome back to Tefillah Tidbits on Tuesdays. I'm Rabbi Molly Wiesel, and happy to be here again with our artist in residence, Josh Niehaus. And
Hello, everybody.
What?
Hello, everybody. I was just saying hi.
We're excited to continue along our Kabbalat Shabbat journey. So last week we introduced Psalm 95. We had a beautiful melody by Nava Tehila. And this week we're going to be looking at Psalm 96, which is the next psalm in our series, our six psalm series that walks us through the steps of creation through our week, getting ready for Shabbat. So Psalm 96, that we recite in our Kabbalat Shabbat service, we recite two chunks of that psalm, verses 1 through 6 and verses 11 through 13. And today we're going to be focusing on verse 12, which comes near the end. And just to give a little bit of context, starting with verse 11, the psalm says, make a simcha, make joy in heaven. Let the earth rejoice. Let the seas squall and all sea life sing. Let the golden fields celebrate. The trees and the forest all rustle with song. Before God, Adonai is coming to judge the earth, to test the earth for justice. All the people will be faithfully weighed. So this is the psalm that corresponds with the second day of creation, the day when the firmament, which God called heaven, was created. The upper waters were divided from the lower waters. We've got the creation of our atmosphere. And there's a lot in this psalm, but there's a lot just in those lines. Verse 12, Rabbi Richard Levy, Zichronon Livracha, may his memory be for a blessing, translates that line, verse 12, as let the golden fields celebrate, the trees and the forest all rustle with song. Literally, the Hebrew means let the fields and all that is in them celebrate. Then all the trees of the forest will sing in joy. Josh, what do you think about that idea?
That is a cool image.
Yeah, there's so much imagery here, and the idea of a forest singing out in joy. I want to be in that field. I don't know about you. I want to be in that field.
It's Eitz Chaim Hi. Those are certainly trees of life.
Yeah.
I love that image, and I feel like I have almost felt that before, when I'm hiking or whatever, and you can actually hear the wind rustling through all the leaves, and it really does feel like you're in this vibrant, verdant, living ecosystem. So I love that. And it kind of reminds me of the concept of heat boded dut, where you do engage directly with the trees. It's this. I don't know how old the practice is, if it maybe dates back to Safat. It seems like a very Sfat Kabbalistic thing to do, but Jews would go out and just kind of have one-on-one talks with trees, and just whatever's on your mind, you sing to the tree, you pray to the tree, you talk to the tree. And so it's very cool to me to see in our traditions where we do really take nature seriously, and we value nature, and we use it as an inspiration for our own spirituality, because I feel like sometimes people look outside of Judaism. They say, oh, I'm religious, or I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And actually, I think that natural, you talked about this in your High Holiday Devar, but I think that sense of wonder through nature is really at the essence of our tradition. A rabbi once told me that to understand the Jewish calendar, you have to realize that it was made by farmers, people who were in tune with the cycles of nature and the Hebrew and just all that. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's something about this idea that of Shabbat, of the wonders of creation, that it's infused in everything in the world. Like we think, or I think about, when I think about Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat, I think about sitting in a sanctuary with four walls, singing words on a page in a book. But there's this idea that while we're in the sanctuary singing, that out there, that the trees are, that the leaves of the trees are rustling with song. Like that's just a really cool image to me. I love it. So, Josh, I love that version of Psalm 95 that you taught us last week, and wondering if you have a melody for Psalm 96 that you want to teach us this week.
I do, and it's actually the same writers, so Nava Tehila. I will choose things that are not always Nava Tehila, but for this one, their tune is just, they knocked it out of the park. It's such a beautiful melody. And we spoke a little bit about how the last prayer that we did, the music complemented the text, in that they were sort of like completely opposite from one another. We're singing about tumultuousness, but and it's calming music. This one is really, I feel like I'm dancing in the woods with the trees when I hear this. So this, we're going to sing Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar. And that is those lines that Rabbi Molly said, let the golden fields celebrate, the trees in the forest all rustle with song. And the melody goes like this. Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer. Come on, Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 Az Yirananu, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer. Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer Ya'ar, Az Yirananu Kol Atzer. Last time, the trees are singing Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 Ya'aloz Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ya'aloz Sadai, ay, 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 ay.
Very cool. Josh, I know you said something about, I promise I'm not just going to do Nava Tehila melodies, but it is so cool to hear like how two melodies can be so totally different. And we should talk about this melody more, because this just sounds like, to me, it's like energy, it's funky, it's fun. Like, what do you get from this?
Yeah, and especially if you listen to the recording, there's saxophone and there's so much percussion. It's hard to not dance along to this. And I think it's great because, the service takes you on an emotional journey. I think a good service, right? So sometimes you do want to be contemplative, and sometimes, you just want to jump up. And if you ever went to a Nava Tehila led service, there is a lot of that. Moments where, they're really encouraging people to stand up, make a little grapevine train through the sanctuary and dance all around. And they do this kind of stuff out in nature a lot in Israel, where sometimes they'll start in the middle of the night and they'll do it with sunrise. And they're really focusing on, can we imagine the imagery that we're speaking about here in the text? Can we envision that as the sun is rising and it's hard to see things clearly because your eyes are adjusting? Can you actually picture the world around you dancing with joy? And then the people get up and do it too. It's like powerful stuff.
Hope I can experience that someday. And you know, I totally agree. I think that one of the nice things about the Kabbalat Shabbat service, it was designed to help us get into Shabbat, because after the Kabbalat Shabbat section, we call Friday night Kabbalat Shabbat, but there's a whole other, like, we've got lots of different prayers that we say. We've got a whole other service. And so I think part of what you're picking up on is like, okay, we start with maybe just finding some quiet to let go of all the things that we're bringing into that space from the week. And then once we've let that go, then that like really opens up for us to be able to bring true joy and like really be in that moment of welcoming Shabbat. So, all right. Well, another great melody from Nava Tehila. Thank you, Josh, for teaching us. And we look forward to trying this one out with you at our Kabbalat Shabbat service this Friday. See you soon.
יעלו סדאי וכל אשר בו יעלו סדאי איי 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 איי